I can't hear you!
Aye, Captain!
Oh!
Hey guys, today I'm gonna platinum the legendary remake of SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom. It's a pretty straightforward platinum. We have 33 trophies to collect. First, we'll play through the story normally while completing and collecting as much as possible. Nothing is really missable with level replay. Let's get into it. What a beautiful day in Bikini Bottom. Well, it is until Plankton decides to be on his usual shenanigans. He wants to build a robot army to dominate the world. However, this machine has one fatal flaw. Stupid. We then cut to our boys SpongeBob and Patrice. They're being their typical weird selves. Ironically, they're having a robot seance while Plankton is getting violated by his robot colony. Patrick also does his best Baltimore accent.
It used to be Alakazama Alabala Weesna Tikitana Fushbar Griddle
The next day, SpongeBob finds his house in ruin. He has the absorbent balls to ask Gary if he actually wrote this.
Gary, did you do that?
We gain control of SpongeBob and do the game's tutorial in his house. You'll learn his different types of attacks. Also, some mechanics that are featured in this game. You know, I remember seeing a staircase in this house when I watched the show. In this tutorial, we're also introduced to this game's collectibles. The primary item to collect is golden spatulas. They'll allow you to progress through the game. They're the root of most, if not all, the trophies. Shiny objects act as a form of currency. You can use them to make certain in-game purchases. The most prominent one being you can trade a fixed amount to Mr. Krabs for a golden spatula. Patrick's socks is the last collectible you'll seek out. He'll give you a golden spatula for every 10 you get to him. After grabbing our first spatula, we'll earn our first trophy. Time for tutorial. Let's go outside and see the legendary Conch Street. In this central hub, you have the 3 classic houses. You also have some people you can chat with. I'll just go ahead and get this out the way now. While I think Mr. Krabs' voice actor is doing his best job, he sounds off, there's no doubt about that. You also hear it with Mermaid Man as well. I guess Clancy Brown didn't want to lend his voice to this remake, so they did the best with what they had.
A bunch of evil robots have taken over the Mermalair security system.
You had me worried there for a bit, boy. Worried for me money, of course.
You'll eventually get used to it. It's not too big of a deal. After visiting Patrick's sand dungeon, I decided to bother Squidward in his crib. Of course, it isn't a proper day under the sun if we don't. After vandalizing his property, we get a spatula. I'd love to chat, but the rest of these spatulas aren't getting themselves. After grabbing some golden underwear for a quick health upgrade, I'll make my way to the first level, Jellyfish Fields. Ironically enough, we meet our boy Squiddy again. The jellyfish messed him up pretty bad here. SpongeBob only applies more burn to the conversation with his remarks.
Oh my gosh, you're bald!
Squidward makes a request for us to get some jelly from the King Jellyfish himself, and we're off. While playing this level, you see how much of this remake is an upgrade. This is what we thought the original version looked like back in the day. The visuals, precisely the colors, just stand out so much. The Unreal Engine is delivering straight magic here. Alright, let's unlock this bridge to progress. Is that a fucking plane flying underwater? We'll interact with some in-game activities like bungee jumping and even preview some things we gotta return for. These fodder robots don't stand a chance against me. Yeah, that's actually their name. Wait, who's this new guy? Is he the hammer robot? Oh wow, I would have never guessed. This dude has a quick strike. I'll tell you what, he does not waste any frames getting that attack off. Hey, check it out, we unlocked the teleport box. This lets us blue skidoo to other teleport boxes within the same level. We'll soon approach a new area, Jellyfish Caves, where we'll slide on our tongue and encounter our buddy Patrick. He needs some help with some robots. Once we take care of these robots, we'll unlock Patrick as a playable character. He functions mainly the same as SpongeBob while still specializing in being the usual dumbass that he is. Oh yeah, he can also throw objects. Hey, there's Plankton.
Unfortunately, I found myself in the undesirable position of having to assist you.
I was in an undesirable position yesterday, and now my neck hurts.
What do you mean by that?
So once we get Plankton's instructions, we'll go through this cave. Hey look, it's some freezy fruit. Let's go skating on some frozen goo? So this is just frozen goo that Patrick is throwing then. Shortly after, we'll see what's going on in Jellyfish Lakes. Mr. Krabs informs us that the King Jellyfish is at the top of Spork Mountain. We'll also discover a new enemy here, the Tartar robots. They're enemies that shoot a hot jizz-like tartar sauce at you. They're a step up from what we're used to facing up until this point. They have iframes that force you to be patient in fights with them. You really gotta pick your hits, you know? Alright, let's make our way through here and take care of this king jellyfish. It's actually pretty easy. He blatantly telegraphs his moves. 3 hits and he's done. After we flex him, we get our second trophy, Jellyfish Jam. Let's make our way back to Squiddy. At the end of this slide, we'll get our third trophy, Spatula Seeker. It's for collecting our 10th spatula. Alright, here you go, Squidward.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that feels so much better.
Anything for my best friend Squidward. Can I rub some on?
The inflections and body language being used right now is making me very uncomfortable. The delivery of that jellyfish jam means we get our 4th trophy, jellyfishing. Our next journey takes us to downtown Bikini Bottom. Mrs. Puff wants us to bring back the steering wheels the robot stole. Let's get this started. So while we're running through downtown Bikini Bottom, we'll have to unlock certain parts of it. It's walled off, kind of like a mini maze. We use the SpongeBob ability for the first time on this level. Walking into this ball will transform SpongeBob while allowing quicker traversal. It makes for some fun little obstacle courses. On this level, we also meet a new enemy type, the G-Love. They require you to either attack from above or with a specialized weapon.
Try me, bitch.
With us defeating this specific robot, we'll get our 5th trophy, Sponge Smasher, for defeating 100 enemies of SpongeBob. After a quick chat with Gary, we both decide that we need the help of a particular friend to reach a certain spatula. Sandy becomes a playable character. She has similar functions to the other guys, but differs significantly due to her use of a lasso. It serves multiple purposes, from combat to also platforming. We'll begin our ascent to the rooftops. It's made easy with this lasso hover ability. While platforming, I'll come across one of Patrick's socks and earn the sock getter trophy.
Well, I suppose it'll make Patrick happy.
What could be waiting for us on the rooftops? Oh, it's just Larry the roided up lobster again. He requests that we replace the antennas on the roof so he can watch cable. What kind of stuff does he watch? That's kind of hot. We'll meet our next enemy type up here on the rooftops. His name is Chuck. What a stupid name. He just chucks torpedoes at you from a distance and is airborne. The missile he throws drops really slow, so you can weave and smack this bum with the lasso. What ensues next is the closest this game gets to becoming Spider-Man, but with a Texas squirrel that lives underwater, of course. Definitely like Spider-Man. After retrieving the spatula, I'll switch back to SpongeBob and take on an ambush. Nice, that's the last steering wheel. Alright, let's return on to Mrs. Puff for another spatula and a trophy. Let's continue our journey at the infamous Goo Lagoon. After the level introduction, we'll see a new enemy, the Monsoon. He throws out a proximity attack that'll shock you if you're near it. Just hit him from underneath. Hey, it's Larry. What do you got for me? He wants me to use the lifeguard towers to reflect the beam at a robot that stole everyone's sunscreen. A simple task, but you really only get so far trying to connect the towers. You gotta explore the rest of Goo Lagoon to further it. Hey, I wonder what's going on at this big sandcastle. Let's head over there. We meet up with Bubble Buddy and he informs us that there's a golden spatula waiting for us at the top of the sandcastle. He fails to mention the deadly rising goo and enemies that want to kill you along the way, however. After climbing the sandcastle, we'll get another spatula and move on to the Goo Lagoon Sea Caves. There isn't much to hear. I do love the references they have on the walls regarding the show characters though. Once we're done with that short detour, we'll find ourselves on the Goo Lagoon Pier. We'll handle some business for Mr. Krabs while trying out some attractions for ourselves when we get the chance. While trying out some of the activities, we unlock our 8th trophy for earning our 25th spatula. Ooh, a spatula. I can't help it. I have to hit that move. You guys know what I'm talking about. We'll make our way back to the beach, take care of this sunscreen stealing robot, and get our 9th trophy, Surf's Up. Next up is a boss fight. Poseidon wants us to take on Plankton's Robo Sandy. Using everything we learn, we quickly take care of Robo Sandy and snag our 10th trophy for beating this boss battle.
Who's for it?
We have more places to explore with this new map region. Bubble Buddy teaches us a new ability, the Bubble Bowl. Holding down the circle button allows me to charge up a bowl attack. Letting go lets me throw it. I'll use it for a quick HP upgrade and visit Sandy at her place. Ugh, that looks That looks disturbing. Sandy wants us to help her clear the robots from her tree dome with a spatula as a reward. Let's see what Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are up to. They got some nice digs here. I like it. What is this man watching? Just a still frame, dude. What this old bitch on? Mermaid Man chats with SpongeBob and asks for his assistance with something. Of course, SpongeBob enthusiastically agrees to help.
Okay then, but lighten up a bit on the enthusiasm, huh? You're making my bowels act up.
Bro, what? To the Mermalair we go. We have to run through the Mermalair and take back the security system while shutting it down in the process. While down here, we meet this game's token Mexican character as a robot. His name is Arf, and his companions are called Arf dogs. Just use your attacks to close the distance and take them out. Hey, check it out, it's the invisible Boatwhip. We'll eventually make our way to the main chamber where we'll meet Squidward, who delegates his portions of task to us. You little mother. Most of these tasks are usual things that we're used to dealing with. I will say this puzzle Barnacle Boy wanted me to do took way longer than expected. It's like a memory pattern kind of puzzle. It isn't really difficult despite what you see here. I feel like I should have finished it like 3 minutes earlier than what I did. Alright, in the next room we'll see Mr. Krabs, who spots a golden spatty under a glass case. This crustaceous cheapskate wants us to open that case for him. How do we do that? I'll be happy to explain. First, you have to roll the ball up a ramp, then bubble bowl this steering wheel. Activate this ball scoop lift, power this steel ball Ferris wheel, bridge any gap, whack this robot, stop this mallet, and do a maze ball puzzle. Then hit the switch with proper timing. You get that? Wonderful. Despite all of that, Mr. Krabs still wants to negotiate this golden spatula with us. He tries to bribe us with a promotion. We convinced him to give us the spatula by agreeing to have our worker labor rights further violated, as you see right here. Let's shut down this computer once and for all. The computer advises us to go help in the villain containment area. There, we'll meet with our elderly heroes and encounter a racist by the name of Prawn. He's racist because he called SpongeBob the M word.
What is that yellow thing? Some kind of mold?
I'm not mold, I'm a sponge. There's a cellular difference. A cellular difference!
Alright fam, I got you. Just dance around him and hit him with a couple bubble bowls when the time is right, and you're good. We'll also get a trophy and a spatula for defeating him. New level time. How about rock bottom? We'll meet a new robot type here, Sleepy Time. They attack based on proximity, specifically if you enter their light zones and make noise. Just make sure you're sneaking so you can get close enough to attack. They look like they could be a part of the enemy listing that was in Toy Story 2, you know, from like Zurg's army. I got a little curious and looked up that Toy Story 2 game and see like information about it and stuff. That game is turning 25 years old at the end of this year. Let that sink in, you old person. The main quest here consists of us retrieving stolen artwork that's scattered all over the level and returning it to Mrs. Puff. This is actually one of my favorite levels in the game. The show never really explored this location other than that one episode obviously, so it's cool to see like an expansion of it and any references the viewer can identify. They also just nail the atmosphere. It's a place I would never want to go to even if I could. It's like going to Walmart in the middle of the night. You just don't know what you're gonna see. The highlight of this place is the actual museum itself. You're treated to different art pieces not even the most skilled painters could hold a brush to. The ironic thing is, I'm pretty sure like most of these belong to Squidward. It would make sense if it's being displayed here since this is what Rock Bottom considers fine art. In the Trench of Advanced Darkness, we meet with Plankton. He convinces us to power these lasers so he could finish crossing the trench himself. Stupidly, I agree, but not without dapping up my boy first. You gotta love that hand animation that saves you when you're falling. A true SpongeBob staple. After navigating the Trench of Advanced Darkness, we circle back to the beginning of the level, turn the stolen artwork to Mrs. Puff, and also get a trophy. Before we depart this level, I'm gonna tie up a few loose ends and earn a couple trophies. The first one I earn is meeting up with Mr. Krabs, who challenges us to a time trial with a golden spatula at the end as our reward. I'm not gonna lie, my lazy behind bypassed the majority of the course. Another spatula, another trophy. I went ahead and backtracked to a couple of areas I knew I was gonna need Sandy for. The next trophy I got was for me defeating her 100th enemy. The other one was for me collecting my 40th sock, completing half a Patrick sock collection.
Well, I suppose it'll make Patrick happy.
Our next destination puts us at the infamous Sand Mountain. This level slightly differs from what we're used to. 3 stations are connected to a central hub, each subsequent one being a bit more challenging. They're scripted courses for you to slide down over and over again. All of them have assigned time trials. There's also ambushes you'll have to clear at the end of every course. You'll get a golden spatula for completing the races and the fights. I popped the 17th trophy during one of these course runs, completing all 3. And with me concluding my time here at Sand Mountain, I'm ready to move on to the next major boss fight, Robo Patrick. Somehow Squiddy found himself in the area and got himself frozen. We have to save him. Just stay mobile and hit those kick me signs when the opportunity reveals itself. At a certain point, you think the fight is over, but it's not. Patrick freezes you while Sandy tags in.
Get ready for a hot fudge twister, Texas style.
I don't know what a hot fudge twister is, and I'm afraid to look it up on Urban Dictionary. Let's just unfreeze SpongeBob and end this to get our next trophy, Toxic Terror. The crew reunites and thanks each other for the help. SpongeBob shits himself?
I think I have fudge in my pants.
Honolulu, the sun will shine for me, and forever I will be on the land that I can see.
Alright, we're entering the game's final stretch with this new region. First things first, let's learn a new move from Bubble Buddy. He teaches us the cruise bubble. It's a bubble-shaped weapon of mass destruction. I'll use it to access the top of the chum bucket to retrieve a golden spatula. Hello, Bikini Bottom. I also take this time to retrieve the last health upgrade in the game. What's going on with the Krusty Krab? Mr. Krabs wants us to clear the robots out of the restaurant. These random fish NPCs must love them Krabby Patties because I would have been long gone if I saw these dudes come in. We'll be introduced to the Bzz bot informally while we're here. They're like the regular fodder enemies, but they come with a twist. They emit a gamma ray that's harmless while green, but will eventually harm you if it turns red and touches you. You gotta love the one-to-one recreation of the Krusty Krab though. After we take back control of the restaurant, Mr. Krabs thanks us. SpongeBob feels tired. He decides to go to sleep. Outside, on the pavement. Welcome to SpongeBob's dream. It's very weird indeed. I ain't gonna lie, I be having surreal dreams that look just like this. We'll meet with Gary, who informs us there's a golden spatula waiting for us in each dream bubble. There's also one at the end of this central dream hub. Let's get it. The first enemy here is the Slick. He's probably the toughest one on the roster. He has a projectile attack that's good at tracking you. He's also shielded, so you have to rely on your ranged weapons to take care of him. Our first dream bubble we're going to enter is Sandy's. Laroids greets us with the slide course challenge with the spatula as a reward. This should be a relaxing time. The visuals are pretty nice. That's weird. More of them? Why so much doo-doo? Sandy's dreams smell like flowers and feces. Is this what Texas is best known for? I can get over it though, I guess. At least she doesn't dream of herself swinging over poop in enclosed spaces or anything like that. Wow. Give me the spatula in a shower, please. Next stop, Squidward's dream. Mr. Krabs wants us to follow the path of musical notes to reach the golden spatula at the end. You gotta love all the Squidward paintings randomly hanging around. This is his dream after all. I should induct some of my favorites in here. Marvelous. Splendid. Magnificent. The platforming becomes tricky once you start jumping on the yellow notes. The rotating ones also suck too. Alright, got the spatula, on to the next dream. It's a Mr. Krabs dream with Squidward as the quest giver. He just wants us to destroy the robot hordes in this dream. It was a little challenging to be honest. You have a variety of enemies to contend with here. This includes the Slick, but also a new type, the Tubelet. They have a few tricks up their sleeves. This robot trio has a whirling fire attack that can only be stopped if you damage part of the ensemble. You have to eliminate the entire stack quickly, or they'll respawn and let off a recovery attack. With me defeating my first Tubelet, I'll get the Robot Encyclopedia trophy for destroying every enemy type at least once.
Sounds like victory.
I'll finish off the rest of these guys while turning off their respawn machines and earn my spatula. Last but not least is Patrick's dream. He's dreaming about nothing, but challenges us to a test. Of course, this lummox makes it easy. Let's get the main level spatula, a bronze trophy, and get out of here. Our next stop is the Kelp Forest. The main task here is rescuing Mrs. Puff's students who are scattered all over the forest. Now this level was the trickiest to navigate. The way to proceed is hidden away. Sometimes you have to think outside the box to progress in some parts, exploring different paths. You'll be using SpongeBob and Patrick's skill sets to traverse the verticality of this place. Making our way to the kelp swamp, we'll find Mr. Krabs, who asked Patrick to help him with his tiki puzzle. We have to find and place 3 stone tikis on these altars. While searching for the tikis, I got my 75th gold spatula, which resulted in a trophy. Let's find and place these statues while getting any campers along the way. The challenge with these statues is you actually can't jump while holding them. Getting any type of elevation with them requires you to bounce on these orange leaves. It's up to you to unlock the switches that put them in the correct position. With the statues placed, Krabs rewards us. We can advance to the next area, the kelp caves. Barnacle Boy wants us to retrieve the energy crystals here so he can activate his secret power. I wonder what that could be. It could be something like super strength. How about supersonic speed? No, it has to be something more cerebral like telekinesis or some mind reading ability. Is Barnacle Boy the shape-shifting type? Probably not. Wow, maybe he can really talk to animals. Can he? No way. Oh look, it's the last crystal. What's his secret superpower?
What happened?
I gained the power to trim my nose hairs at super speed.
This man wasting my time. Give me that damn spatula. Alright, let's move on to the kelp vines. This area is just your typical sliding course. I do like the addition of leaves you have to bounce off of. You have to slow down to hit some of these turns. You know, I actually learned you can control acceleration by pushing forward or back on the stick. It actually helps out. After Mermaid Man rewards us, we circle back to the beginning of the level and find our last student for Mrs. Puff. Just one last level before the finale. Welcome to the Flying Dutchman's graveyard. We immediately encounter the man, the myth, the legend himself. He asks for our help in exchange for a golden spatula. He complains about the robots overthrowing him from his ship and likens it to, and I quote, having your pants pulled down in front of casual acquaintances. It's a sad, sad thing. I swear, this game is just full of quotable gems. We'll go to his ship and use the cannons to blast the robots. We're introduced to these movable towers. Just hit a switch and they'll slide in any specific direction. Eventually, we'll make our way to the graveyard of ships. The wonderful Squidward is waiting for us there.
Yes, hilarious. Don't you have a platinum wisp to get?
It's called a trophy, you suction cup fuck. The funny thing is, I immediately got a trophy after this conversation for annoying Squidward 10 times. You can't make this stuff up, I swear. After I get a spatula from the quick bungee jump and reach the end of this level, I'll make my way to the Flying Dutchman ship. I'll have to destroy the robot ship's power generators that are protecting the cannons. After that, I'll be able to destroy the cannons themselves. Of course, I'll need to switch between SpongeBob and Sandy to accomplish these tasks. So, despite us helping this man regain his ship, he decides to not honor his part of the deal. Now we have to put our hands on this dude. He ain't too much of a problem. We'll easily defeat him and beat a spatula out of him, and a trophy as well.
Had enough, you dirty...
And with that, we'll conclude our time on this level. It's time for the finale. Our last destination will be the Chum Bucket to face Plankton and his robot army. He's constructed a robot version of SpongeBob, aptly titled SpongeBot. Everyone starts panicking, SpongeBob breaks the fourth wall, and finally gets the epiphany, after all this time, that Plankton is behind all this. Plankton makes a robot version of himself and gives us even more problems to worry about. SpongeBob is a pretty easy boss once you get his patterns down. He telegraphs everything so clearly. Just hit the green lights that are his weak points and you'll be good. Robo Plankton injects our boy with those inflatable arms, an excellent reference by the way, and retreats inside of him. We advance to the second stage of this boss battle. Man, the scale of this robot is stupidly massive. There's these energy pylons we have to destroy while we navigate. We're also put through a mini gauntlet with most enemies we've encountered throughout the game. A few cruise bubbles later, and we'll end this all. The crew celebrates their victory while Plankton decides to pursue something I think he'll actually be good at.
Well, Plankton, Plankton. I hope you learned your lesson.
Oh, I certainly did. Next time I'll get it right.
Ouch! We won! Who wants to get ice cream?
I do!
All that's left for me in this platinum run is to retrieve the collectibles and 100% this game. I'll use a guide to get the rest of these socks. While doing this, I defeated my 100th enemy playing as Patrick. This will be the last sock for the Sock Opera trophy.
Boy, Patrick will be glad to have this back.
I was running low on shiny objects to trade with Mr. Krabs, so I decided to look for a way to farm them. This led me back to Goo Lagoon. I repeated this sequence you're seeing 6 or 7 times and had enough for his golden spatulas. 100 gold spatulas, and 100% game completion for the platinum. I had a blast with this game, to be honest. It's the perfect example of how to do a remake. It took me about 10 hours to platinum. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.
Are you still here?